Well, Christmas is finally over. We held our last Christmas yesterday, a gathering with Kim's mother's side of the family, the Nobbies, is Kim's mother's maiden name. All of this made about 6 Christmas celebrations that we had between Christmas and yesterday, celebrating with different parts of our family and friends, celebrating during the 12 days of Christmas, not to mention New Year's Eve. But now Christmas is over and we begin a new season in the life of the church, the season of Epiphany. Today we are celebrating Epiphany Sunday. Now this was a little disclaimer for all of you who might be from another church. You might have celebrated Epiphany last Sunday and heard about the wise men already. With the calendar falling, Christmas and New Year's falling on Sundays this year, it got a little dicey which Sunday we're going to do what. So some churches chose last Sunday. We're celebrating this Sunday. According to traditions, Christmas is to be celebrated all 12 days from December 25th until Epiphany, January 6th. These are older traditions. We don't always practice them today. But during those 12 days of Christmas, folks customarily gave gifts each day, not to the same person, but to different people in your life, to anticipate the coming of the Magi, the visit of the wise men who came to visit the Christ child and to recognize the gifts that they brought. Traditionally, after the Epiphany celebration is over, it's time to take down the tree and put things away for another year. The gifts that the Magi give are the culmination to the Christmas story, and we move on after that to what happens next in the life of Christ. In the retail world, the Christmas season, Epiphany means that Christmas return season is over. That's the modern day incarnation of the 12 days of Christmas, right? 12 days to return whatever you received that did not fit, was the wrong color or flavor, or simply did not suit your purposes. I know my wife had a big stack of things to return this past week. She went to Washington to bring the wrong sizes, styles, and colors to Kohl's and JCPenney, and whatever she was not able to return to those places, she went to shop around the corner for those. Sometimes the gifts we receive are just not suitable to our purposes, and maybe they'll suit somebody else. And that's the thing about gift giving. The gift that is given says a lot about the person who gave it. The gifts that my wife returned were all given in love. They just didn't happen to suit our place in life right now. But did you ever receive a gift that was not given in love, but out of obligation? You can always tell, can't you? Like when your boss gives you a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club. You know, the gift that keeps giving all year long. I had a friend who did all of his Christmas shopping at Quick Trip one year. Everyone in the family received ice scrapers, fuzzy dice, and little bags of hot and spicy peanuts. Then there was my aunt, the hoarder, who would give us gifts that she had lying around her house. I can remember one year as a young child when my brother and I each received cigarette holders from her. We weren't sure quite what to do with those. And who can forget Aunt Bethany's gifts in the movie Christmas Vacation? She wrapped her cat as one present and a plate full of Jell-O as another. We've all received questionable Christmas presents in our lives, and today's precious gifts are somewhat questionable as well. We hear the story of the Magi visiting the Christ child, and they bring him gifts that would hold no interest to Gavin or to any of our other babies in the sanctuary. They bring him gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What sort of gifts are these for a baby? Well, gold would certainly be helpful to Mary and Joseph, right? The gold that the wise men brought to Jesus could have been used by them to make a more comfortable life for their family. Frankincense is a precious oil, and myrrh is a valuable perfume, neither of which would have been appropriate for a baby, but maybe they could have been returned to Kohl's or JCPenney if the Magi would have just given Mary a gift receipt. So we have precious gifts left by these Magi that were, like the cigarette holder my aunt gave me, totally inappropriate. What are we to do with these precious gifts? Well, gifts say a lot about the gift giver. I like to give gifts to folks that have some special meaning, something about myself or about my relationship with them. But I have to say, even a cigarette holder or an ice scraper bought at Quick Trip show some sign of care and love from the recipient, from the giver to the recipient. And tell the recipient that even if this wasn't the gift you were wanting, this is a gift from my heart. The same holds true with the precious gifts given by our Magi this morning. The gold, frankincense, and myrrh might not have been just what a baby would want, but they were certainly appropriate gifts for a king. These gifts were not just gifted for the fleeting enjoyment of an infant. They were testimonies of faith. The faith that these Magi had that this was indeed not just some other baby. This was indeed the King of Kings. This was indeed not just Jesus, but Christ. By bringing these precious gifts to the Christ child, the wise men were testifying to their faith. They were sharing the faith that this was the long-promised Messiah who would transform the world with his presence. They were sharing the ideal that they believed that God was doing a new thing in the world, and that God was doing a new thing with Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah. They were also testifying their allegiance not to Herod and the powers that be of the world, but to God and God's presence in our lives. These precious gifts were testimonies of faith, gifts from the soul. Today we celebrate two precious gifts in our presence as well. One precious gift, Gavin, is so cute and cuddly. And the other precious gift, well, I guess Lynn's cute and cuddly too, isn't he? I'm sure Jordan would say so, right? Two precious gifts given today in the sacrament of baptism. This sacrament of baptism in our tradition is not only a personal celebration in the lives of the baptismal candidates, but a communal celebration in the entire congregation, in the life of the church. For in this sacrament, we see Lynn and Jordan giving God the most precious gift of all, the life of Gavin, the life of Lynn, their lives to God. Now, I know when I say that it sounds a bit ominous, doesn't it? But the reality is just the opposite. Jordan and Lynn are making promises today, or made promises today, to God that they will raise Gavin in the life of church, bringing him to worship, bringing him to Sunday school, bringing him to confirmation, and setting Christian examples in their lives by being present in worshiping community, by raising Gavin in a Christian faith, that they will structure their lives around God in their presence, so that when Gavin becomes an adult, he can claim that faith as his own. Now, Lynn is one up on Jordan. He's not just giving God one precious gift today, but two. He's not only dedicating his son to God, but he's dedicating himself as well. By accepting the promises of baptism, he is joining together with Christians in every time and place who have sat in these pews long before us and who will sit here long after we're gone, testifying and giving themselves to Jesus. Lynn and Jordan are giving God the most precious gift of all. The gifts that we give God say many things about our faith. Now, I'm not talking about financial gifts, but you can draw that parallel if you want. I'm talking about the gift of ourselves, the precious gifts the Magi gave, that Jordan and Lynn are giving, that Christ calls each one of us to give every day. Do we fully give God our true selves, or does God just get the leftovers? Does God get whatever is left after the last erg of energy is sucked dry from the world, or does God get our best, our first, our total dedication? Does God come first, or does everything else come first and God gets whatever time we have left over? What place does God have in our lives? There's a story about a fourth wise man who doesn't quite make it to the meeting place with his friends to go see King Herod. He misses that consultation. He misses the Holy Family. He's late because he stops to meet another man in need, a man who has been beaten and left for dead. He nurses the man back to health, but the time spent caring for that man makes him miss gathering with the three other wise men. He tries to catch up with them in Herod's court, and as he does so, he encounters a family in need, displaced by Herod's tyranny, a refugee family in need of assistance. He helps them find a place of sanctuary, but the time spent doing so causes him to miss the appointment with King Herod. So he decides to meet his friends at the manger, and on his way to the manger, he encounters a homeless family. He builds them shelter and teaches them skills needed to survive, but in doing so, he misses the Holy Family as they left the manger to flee to Egypt. The story goes on with similar encounters. Pursuing Jesus all of his life, he's continually distracted by the hungry, the thirsty, the needy. He's met by refugees, foreigners, and groups that are labeled as unclean or immoral by the powers that be. People who are oppressed by the powerful in every which way. He never turns a deaf ear on these children of God in need, but by doing so, he misses the adolescent Jesus in the temple at age 12. He misses the young Jesus baptized by John in the River Jordan. He misses the prophetic Jesus in his inaugural address at the Sermon on the Mount. He misses it all. And finally gets to the cross. After 33 years of trying to catch up to Jesus, gets to the cross just after Jesus dies. His grief is incredible. He's been pursuing Jesus all these years, and now his Messiah is dead, and he will never be able to give Jesus the most precious gift that he's been carrying with him all these long years. He goes to bed that night grieving, contemplating the fate all the next day. When Sunday morning comes, he goes into a garden to pray, apologizing to Jesus for never catching up to him, for allowing life's distractions to get into the way. And it was just then that the resurrected Jesus came to him in the garden saying, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. For by serving my children, you have served me. By dedicating your life to serving others, you have dedicated your life to me. By giving me the most precious gift you have, your devotion, your love, your time, you have given it to me, the most precious gift of all." God is calling us through our own baptisms, through the baptisms we celebrate here today, through the ways life throws opportunities in our midst to be in ministry. Like the Magi of old, give God your most precious gift. Give God yourself. Amen.